evening, I'm James Randi. What is the new age? Tonight we'll be investigating whether this fashionable idea has brought the reality of paranormal phenomena any closer. But first, I need the assistance of a volunteer. How about this young lady right down here? Would you come over here and join us? And you can take a seat. And what is your first name, please?
Gail.
That's absolutely correct. Now, I have in my pocket someplace here a teaspoon. I don't know where it's made. It says stainless steel there. That's all we see. Would you hold each end of it in your finger, just pinching it like that for me, please? Right up, and hold it perfectly level like that. Now, you are now a magician's assistant, and something rather remarkable is going to happen. Hold it by the very tip, out as far as you possibly can. I'm stroking it very gently, and I'm going to wiggle it up and down, and you'll see it, not too tightly now, just very, very lightly, just so you're barely holding on to it. No, just so you're barely, that's very lightly, you see. It seems to be getting flexible, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. It seems to be doing something strange, sort of turning rubbery. That's the most peculiar thing I've ever seen. Let go of it for a second, Gail. I'm going to hold it right in front of you, and look at this. You're going to see something very remarkable happen. It's actually going to start turning into plastic. It gets softer and softer and softer. Put your hands out. I think that bowl's going to fall off. It did. A miracle. How are these things done? I really don't know. Well, what you've just witnessed was pure make-believe, a conjuring trick utilizing a very simple physical principle. Perhaps the next time you see something you can't explain, you should consider whether it might have a rational explanation before you jump to the conclusion that you've seen something supernatural. Crystals are becoming increasingly popular. The claims made about them include that they can heal, improve memory, give off energy, and help you assert yourself. Well, let's find out, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our first guest, Britain's best-known crystal healer, Soozi Holbeche. Now, Soozi, I understand that you believe crystals have considerable power. Is that
I
correct?
do, yes, I do.
And you've agreed tonight to demonstrate crystal power through what is known as applied kinesiology.
That's right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, to assist with this demonstration, we have with us actress and journalist Fiona Richmond. Tell me, Fiona, what about you? Do you believe in crystal power?
I don't really know very much about it, but I'm willing to have a go at anything that's going to help me.
Very good. Well, first, Soozi is going to demonstrate the power of crystals by testing Fiona's strength while she's holding the crystal. This is applied kinesiology.
That's right, yes. You can test it for allergies and all sorts of things, muscle testing.
Well, earlier today, Soozi decided this particular crystal that you're holding there is good for Fiona, right? Now, could you demonstrate for us, please, just how you decided that and do the little test?
Well, I went through crystals and the ones that I've got with me, and that seemed to be the right one. So first of all, I'd like to muscle test Fiona with her normal sort of strength. And to do this, I'll ask her to put her arm up, straight out.
Straight.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'm going to just test it.
Okay.
You can feel it. I mean, there's no
it's just
push
going
out.
down.
So
Normally.
just hold that in the other hand.
Do I hold it tight?
Just hold it.
Okay.
Let your body attune to it for a moment or two.
Just feels hard.
All right. And then put your arm up again.
Okay. Straight. Oh. Yeah.
No, can you feel the difference?
Absolutely,
I mean, I can feel it,
my
but you
arm's
can
quite
feel it.
rigid.
It's absolutely
yes.
rigid, whereas before it was absolutely limp.
Extraordinary, yes. There's a huge difference.
Well, you're going to place this crystal inside this small red bag. All right, now this crystal has been placed in the pouch, and I'll hold it by the string. And we've also here other samples, which are all going to be mixed up, also concealed in pouches, none of which could be described as good for anyone. That is, the ones aside from the crystal. So using your method, Soozi, can you now find, if I give them to Fiona one at a time, which is the good crystal?
Well, we hope so. We'll test it on Fiona.
All right. Take the first sample. I'll just take the first one. Oh, you're going to reach in and take one. I'm sorry. Anyone at all there. Right. Hold it in your hand.
Okay. And then put your arm out.
Okay.
I swear to you, this is totally spontaneous, because neither of us know what's in it.
You mustn't feel it to try to find out what's inside there, Fiona. You're just supposed to hold it lightly in your hand.
Right.
Is this good or bad, then?
Bad. It's
this
weak
one,
bad.
This one you say is bad, so we'll put it in the red section. Reach inside and take another one, if you would, please.
raffle.
It is indeed.
Okay.
Bad, yep.
You say that one's bad then?
Another baddie.
All right, I'll take it only by the
Okay.
string there. Thank you very much. We'll put that one aside in the bad area. And we've got
They're
three
all
left.
gonna be
Reach
fine.
inside, please.
Okay. Right.
I think that one looked bad to me, wasn't it?
Bad, it certainly was.
All
yes.
right, very good.
Anything
No, no,
was-
no, no, no. Don't you dare peek. You're trying to
Have a
peek,
look.
I know.
Yes.
Now we got two left. Let's see how you do on this one.
All right. That should be it.
That should be it?
That
All
should
right,
be it.
I'll take that one and I'll put that one over here in the good area, and we have one left.
And this shouldn't work.
I'll bet I know what this one shouldn't do. Let's find out.
Okay.
And indeed, that one
No.
seems to be one of the
That's it.
bad ones,
So-
okay? Thank
Right.
you very much. Now, I've placed all four bad ones on the red section here and the good one on the green section. Let's just see how you did, shall we? If chance alone were operating here, you'd have a 1 in 5 chance of finding the crystal. We have a strange substance in here. Well, that's a blue lump of something or other. Let's just find out what we have in these other bags, shall we? This one here, which I can hardly get out of the bag because it's sticking in there, that's another piece of it. Ladies and gentlemen, and Soozi and Fiona, what you chose as the crystal is actually rat poison. And I'm not going to test it out on a rat or on anybody else in this audience, and I'm certainly not going to try it myself. And by golly, I think we have, yes, here is the crystal, which a moment ago was represented as being bad for you, and of course the last sample, as we might expect, rat poison.
Right.
So,
All I can say is that rat poison must be good for Fiona.
God, I shall take some every day then.
And that before, the crystal was sort of naked, if you like, in your hand. It wasn't covered up. And I think that does have an effect.
right. Now, these are the results of this experiment that you'd expect by chance, which would suggest either that applied kinesiology doesn't work or crystals don't have the powers claimed for them, or both. Fiona and Soozi, thank you very much for coming and taking part tonight.
Thank you.
Next, thought transference. We visited the privately funded Metaphysical and Psychic Research Center in Berkshire, whose principal, Norman Knight, has been involved in psychic research for over 30 years.
Centre was founded in 1973. It was founded because we found that there was a lot wanting as far as psychic and spiritual healing was concerned. And this is why we involved ourselves with research and investigation into this phenomenon. The ultimate goal, of course, is to bring some tangible substance to this intangible subject. Most of this equipment here came through times when I was in deep contemplation. This particular object is our table that we levitate, and it moves around the room under certain circumstances, of course.
Where are we going?
Don't know yet.
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome my guest, Norman Knight. Norman, you've brought along a very interesting piece of equipment here. You say it can be used as a lie detector, but further than that, you say it can also in some way detect thought.
That's completely true.
I see. Well, let's see how it works, shall we?
Surely. We have on the top here a dial which is recording microvolts. And at the moment, this particular person, my friend here, is producing 1 microvolt. During the course of thought transmission, this particular pointer moves across the dial. But I've got to set it first to his metabolism. Hopefully, what I want to try to prove is that thoughts can be transmitted from one person to another.
And detected by this machine.
And it's detected by this machine.
I see. Well, this machine has its own internal power supply, and it's connected to your colleague, Mr. Ron Turner. Are you connected, Ron?
I am, thank you.
I'm glad to know a man who feels well connected. Norman, would you please tune the machine for us now?
Surely. Right, we're somewhere near ready now.
So, Norman, I understand that this also involves your wife, Norma, who is in our audience. And I understand that Norma is going to send pleasant thoughts over to Ron, and that the machine will pick up the thoughts as Ron receives them. Is that correct?
That's correct, but I would say at this point it's not pleasant thoughts, it's healing thoughts.
Ah, I see. All right, I stand corrected. Now, Ron, how can we tell when you are receiving Norma's thoughts? How will that be evident?
It'll be evident because the dial will show a rise, and also there will be a rise in the sound.
I'll signal you like this, okay? That's the official signal. And you will signal Norma to start sending thoughts. Okay, Norman?
That's quite all right, but one other thing, before we do that, what I'd like other people to do is not think or try to send thoughts to the sitter here, if that is possible.
Okay. We'll ask for
Because
their
they can
cooperation.
interfere with the transmissions.
Very good.
Can I readjust? Because
I
he's
think you'd
received-
better, yes, if you want to.
Right.
All right, Norman, let's try it again. Now.
Stop.
Very good. Of course, it's possible that this happens through visual interaction between Ron and Norma, and in order to avoid such an accusation, we're going to seat Ron facing in the opposite direction. Ron, would you swivel around, please? And now I'll signal when Norma is to start sending her thoughts. I will give the same signal
Count about 7.
sometime within the next few seconds or so, and under these conditions, we'll see what happens, all right? All right, stop. Now let's give it a second try, if you will. You tuned properly there, Norman?
It's okay.
Okay, sometime in the next few seconds or so, I will give the signal by holding my thumb up.
She's already started.
I can't stop it.
I guess we're having a hard time stopping it, Norman, or can you readjust it?
No. He's received it, you see, and it's in his energy form now.
Norma, will you stop? All right, sometime in the next little while, I'm going to give another signal.
It's beginning to slow.
No, it isn't.
Okay, Norma, would you stop the signal, please? Well, under these conditions, there doesn't seem to be a correlation that I can see. Perhaps Norma failed once and perhaps succeeded once, but I think it's very hard to tell. Sending thoughts with the box reacting, maybe it's been shown and maybe it hasn't. I can't make up my mind. Perhaps Ron was reacting to a visual signal rather than thought messages in the first part of the demonstration. Nevertheless, the box is very interesting. Norman, would you allow electrical engineer to take a look inside that box?
Most certainly not.
Well, that's a
I would
pity.
rather get it patented first.
Well, that's a pity. I'm sure our audience would like to know what's going on in there. However, I would like to thank all three of you, Norma, Ron Turner, Norman Knight, for giving us this demonstration tonight. Is the so-called New Age about personal development or just about making money? It's difficult to find any bookstore nowadays that doesn't feature an entire section devoted to the so-called New Age, psychic, or supernatural books. Volumes on the mystical qualities of crystals alone will often occupy several shelves all by themselves, yet you'd be hard-pressed to find a book in there that questions these beliefs. The supply of eager customers is just as endless, and every possible variation on these themes is snapped up with enthusiasm. We have some distinguished guests present here tonight, and Hazel Raven is the owner of the Manchester Crystal Shop. Tell me, how long have you been running this shop?
I started the shop in January.
I see. And how's business been so far?
There's a lot of interest.
A lot of interest, and customers, I hope.
We get a varied kind of customer, yes, ages from 2 years to 90.
All the way. Well, that's a good age range then. And Wendy Grossman is with us tonight. Wendy, what do you think of the new age?
It seems to me to be a rejection of science. A lot of the things I heard when I was watching things happening in the States were that it didn't matter if something was true. What mattered was whether it worked for you. And the thing is, you know, if you went to buy a washing machine and somebody said, meditate over this for an hour a day, and maybe it'll work on Saturdays, you'd probably want to think twice about it, especially when you were told that if it didn't work, it meant you weren't meditating hard.
Sue Blackmore, what's the attraction to all this new age stuff? What do you think?
Oh, I think there are lots of attractions. One of them is the whole attraction of secrets and mystery. You can, by buying one book or a couple of crystals or whatever, be in touch with some secret which, without having to do a degree in physics, you can apparently understand things which scientists reject, which puts you in command of something which society as a whole seems to reject. People love that.
Susan, you're a psychologist, not an economist, but do you think these people are getting value for their money?
In a way they are, if it can help them in their lives to feel better and more confident. But quite a lot of the time they're being seriously misled. And it very much worries me that the New Age is a mixture of genuinely helpful things and completely misleading rubbish. And I think it would be nice if we could sort out one from the other.
I must thank all of you for coming along today, and thank you for your comments. And now our last test is aura reading. The aura is said to be a spiritual light that surrounds the body. Some say they have photographed such things, others claim they can see them. Now I'd like to give you a glimpse behind this screen where our volunteers are preparing for the next test. My final guest, aura reader James Garvey. Pray tell, what is an aurograph?
It's a positive energy force, and it's symbolic. And I'm able to look at anyone's aura and put down in the symbolic form here a message.
Now, every aura, I understand, looks different. Every person's aura is different from every other person's, like a fingerprint?
Yes, that's correct.
I see. Well, I believe people don't have to actually visit you in person in order to have their auras read, and that you can read an aura via the phone or from a distance or even through walls. Is that true?
That's right.
So we've chosen someone at random from our audience tonight that you're going to give this aurograph to, and it should be the person to whom it belongs.
That's right.
All right, let's see what you can do.
If you notice that, first of all, it's in a green color. So this person that this is going to has a green aura. I have a swan here in different colors. That means the swan is indicative of the person, and it also means, because there's different colors in it, that the person is upset by more than one problem. If this person makes a decision in their life right now, which is the ring, then whatever the problem is to do with the house situation will be resolved. If they don't do it right away, then it's going to stay the way it is. Here the scales show that, first of all, it's money that they need right away, and also a strong scale in orange means they need strength around them, personally, and green means that they also need security in life. Once this all takes place by decision making, then they will find an attraction down in the Devon and Cornwall area. That's where they will move, sooner or later, down to the Cornish area, down here. And it's to do with business as well.
Well, James, I wonder if we could refer this to the person in the audience for whom this was actually drawn up. Do you think this reading applied to you?
Bits of it do, yes. And not the whole of it, no.
Not the whole of it, but you say bits of it.
Yes, just certain bits of it.
Well, that seems a fair result. However, what we're concerned with tonight is whether or not it's possible for James to perceive an aura through obstacles. And to determine that, we've agreed upon the following experiment. Would you step over here with me, James, please?
Certainly.
We're now going to reveal to our audience here in the studio the 5 volunteers behind the screen. Now, each one is standing beneath a letter, A, B, C, D, and E. Now, James, can you see all the auras through this screen here?
Yes.
You can. I'm now going to ask someone at random to step from behind the screen. I have the names here in my pocket. First of all, will John step around from behind the screen? James, can you still see his aura around his body?
Yes.
And which position did John come from, do you believe?
C.
From C? John, would you step into the position C, please? James, if, as you claim, you can see auras through the screen, John should now be standing in the same position as he was when he was behind the screen. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, will Helen please come forward? Helen will step out from behind the screen. Now, James, from what position did Helen come?
D.
From D. Helen, will you step into position D, please? Can I now ask Andrew to come forward, please? Andrew is the third person from behind the screen. There he is, and there are only 3 spaces left. Which one do you think he belongs in?
A.
In A. Andrew, would you take position A, please? Now, would Bob please step forward? Only 2 spaces left. Which letter, B or E?
E.
E. Would you step into position E? And finally, would Danny step forward, please? Of course, there's no choice about which letter James thinks you are, so Danny, you'll take up position B, am I correct? Okay, fine. Just a moment ago, these 5 persons were standing behind the screen. James, if you have them all in the correct order, it will be good evidence that you can see auras through screens, as you have a less than 1% chance of matching all of these 5 correctly by chance alone, just by guesswork. By chance alone, you should get, the expectation is, one of them correct, if it's only chance. Let's see if James managed to beat the odds. To these 5 people, I ask, please reveal which position you were originally standing in by showing us, I think it's inside your hat, isn't it? Take them off and let's see. C, B, D, A, and E. So out of this, we obtained 2 correct. All right. So James, you got 2 out of 5 correct, and I take my hat off to you for trying. Would your volunteers please go back to the correct positions in which they actually belong? Take your correct positions, and those 3 move into different spots. The results are only slightly better than those predicted by chance. It seems something went a bit wrong this time. What explanation could there be, James?
Well, it's quite possible that this has been the first time that I've ever attempted this, right? Mm-hmm. And it's quite possible that I've allowed myself to come into it, okay?
I see, but you did say you could see them through obstacles.
Yes, I can, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, James, for coming tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you the evidence. You make up your own minds. I'm James Randi. Good night.